John Boy, let me tell you something. Bright Light City gonna set my soul. Gonna set my soul on fire. Viva Las Vegas, baby. We've arrived. International Fight Week. Zach here from filthy Philadelphia, primed, packed, passported, ready to go to UFC 276. John Boy in Florida. How are you feeling other than green with envy?
I am stoked for you.
Love that.
I'm relatively jealous. First time in Vegas. Whew. First time in Vegas, folks. Zach will be in the building at UFC 276. Sheesh, kid.
It's gonna get spicy.
How are you holding it together right now?
I'm really not. I've had to go to work this week.
Wow.
I have had to sit in a job that pays me money so that I can go do this. And I've had to pretend like this is not killing me. Like I'm not just ready to rock and roll, ready to just climb out of my skin and get to goddamn Las Vegas already.
This is a big week. This is a big week.
It's a huge week. The card, stellar. The events, the pageantry, stellar. Hall of Fame ceremony, stellar. I'm going to say it right now. Anybody listening, you got to get on the 10-8 socials. Our legal department's going to be out there with me. She's going to be updating the socials all weekend. We're going to be at UFC X. I mean, I think even if you're just in the MGM, buffet line, you're going to bump into UFC guys. So I think this is just going to be a huge weekend. I cannot be more excited.
Yeah, it's good to know that the UFC has somebody that's going to give them some validity. You know what I mean? On the ground. Yeah. A trustworthy media outlet in the 10-8 round podcast. It's good to know the UFC is in good hands. We'll have boots on the ground. Let's break this thing down.
Let's break this thing down, but let's start here because I'm kind of brimming with another excitement. We've got a first on the 10-8. We're having a little giveaway. And
we're starting it off hot.
Let's start with, let's start with the good news. Let's get everybody, because tis the season, right? Tis the season. Let me give you Uncle Zach's Christmas Carol early here. John Boy, I'm going to tell them what's at stake, and you're going to tell them how they can win it. How does that sound?
I think we can do that.
Let's do that. So this weekend, pay close attention to the socials. You are going to see number 1 and number 2 of what I'm sure will end up being 1 million. But the first 2 ever 10-8 podcast t-shirts will be in Las Vegas this weekend, worn by myself and our legal department. And after those game-worn jerseys have served their purpose, we're going to give you, the legions of fans, an opportunity to own one. John Boy, how do they win?
This is groundbreaking. This is groundbreaking. Okay, guys. So you enter in the comments below, comment on the main card on who you think is going to win and the tiebreaker, how you think the main event is going to unfold. If you think it's going to be a decision, if you think it's going to be a submission or a knockout, and what round. And also make sure to share the link on your socials, whatever social it may be, whether it's Twitter, IG, share it, put it out there.
Tag us so that we know.
Exactly. Tag us so we know. Drop below in the comments who you think is going to win, and get you a shot at a piece of history.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I almost hate having to do this podcast right now, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I'm so at a loss. What do I say about this? It's good. What do I say about this card? It's stacked. It's stacked to the fucking gills. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it.
No.
There's no hidden gems here. They're all gems.
Yeah, no, this thing's fucking stacked. There's really no way. There's no other way to put it. Cerrone and Miller are like the bottom of the card.
That's the bottom of the card. That's a curtain jerker. I mean, ridiculous.
We're gonna get into it, but yeah, there's some sleepers on here.
There are some sleepers, but the whole card is gold. I guess let's start at the top. We got the last style bender, Izzy Adesanya, a man who has looked untouchable at 185, going up against Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla. How do you feel about this one?
I don't know about you. I don't know how you're feeling on this one, but Adesanya is my bread and butter guy. He's undefeated at middleweight. His only losses at light heavyweight to Jan. Everyone knows that. Um, I don't know. I don't see this being much of an issue for Adesanya.
Well,
Tell me if I'm wrong. I think Adesanya. I think he might make this look easy.
so Cannonier not long ago came down from middleweight. He spent some time up in the 205s.
He spent some time at heavyweight.
He spent some time at heavyweight. This is a big guy.
He has knockouts at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight. I believe he's the only person in history to have knockouts in 3 separate weight divisions. Which is pretty bizarre.
It's a big guy. It's a strong guy.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I think is interesting, these guys share a loss to Jan Blachowicz. I've heard it said so many ways. They share that in common. But the one thing that looked like it was really giving Izzy a problem was when Jan got him on the ground, Izzy was stuck.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm wondering now if Cannonier comes out, if he follows that playbook, that's a live dog. You know, if you blindfolded me Saturday night and then Sunday morning, you told me that Jared, the killer gorilla Cannonier, went out there and just mauled Izzy, brought him to the ground, brought the fight to him, I'd be surprised. Yes. Would I be jaw on the floor? Would I be aghast? No, I wouldn't be. I know Izzy's the favorite. He's rightfully the favorite because you're right. The man's been untouchable at 185. Cannonier's live, though. He's not nobody. That's a tough dude. That's a big boy with some knockout power in those hands.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that kind of entered my mind before I got on here was, does Cannonier really have a grappling game? Like, can he wrestle? Can he bring this to the ground? I don't know. We just saw Adesanya go 5 rounds with Robert Whitaker. Whitaker is a way more credentialed wrestler than Cannonier is, without a doubt. It's not even questionable. And he didn't really see any way to exploit Adesanya. Adesanya is a big ass 185er. He's a big boy. He has good takedown defense. He really does. I don't see that being an avenue for Cannonier whatsoever. I think Cannonier's best shot is just cracking him, getting lucky, and tagging him and hitting him. Cannonier can bang. I don't know, though. I just think it's going to be too technical, too big, too strong, too fast. Vegas has it lying correctly. Full blades ahead, Israel Adesanya for me.
You know, look, I'm tempted to agree with you that that's Cannonier's best route to victory, especially if you look at the way he's won before, right? He's won by stand and bang. But if the guys at the MMA lab, I think, have half a brain, they spent this fight camp just throwing power double after power double to get it to the ground.
I just don't think, do you think he could sustain that for 5 rounds? I've seen Cannonier gas a little bit.
If Cannonier can't sustain it for 5 rounds, then I think there was no point in having the conversation to begin with, right? Because everybody said that was what Paulo Costa was going to do. He was going to crack with Izzy. And what he realized when he got in there was Izzy's just too rangy. He's too rangy. He's too slick on the feet. His fighting style, and I know his background is Muay Thai. He does not look like a Muay Thai fighter in there, where you can sort of, if you get in close, if you can take the range away, the way he moves in there, the way he stands in there, it's fucking awkward, and it's fast and it's slick. I don't see Cannonier beating him on the feet. I think if he tries to bum rush him, he's going to sidestep, he's going to dance in there, it's going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. If I'm the MMA lab, I'm telling Cannonier it's time to wrestle. It's time to learn wrestling. I think it's his only path to victory.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, he's going to have to mix it up. I mean, to fully go wrestling route, I don't even think that's feasible. The more and more we talk about this, the more and more I like Adesanya. I like 4th round Adesanya, TKO.
I'll tell you this, personal note, I'm rooting for Israel Adesanya. I fucking love Izzy. I mean, this dude has made MMA so fun to watch. I think he's really put the middleweight division kind of back in a really tough spot where he's, just dominant and it's everybody chasing him down. I love Izzy. I'm a big Izzy guy. But we're here to bring you the analysis. That's my analysis. He's got to have a secret weapon to get Izzy on the ground to hold him there, because that's how Blachowicz did it.
Yeah, I don't even think that that's going to be a feasible route for him. I don't. With the wins, I mean, he has a loss to Whitaker. I know he did tear his labrum, I believe, early in that fight against Whitaker. So he was, he was hurt early in that fight. Whitaker did piece him up though, but like I said, he was hurt. So I don't know. It's hard for me to back Cannonier here. We didn't even discuss the line. If you want to
take heavy duty.
Yeah, you want to even take a shot on that, or what?
Plus 400.
So Adesanya minus 420. Jared Cannonier plus 305. So you can get Cannonier at 3-1 odds. I can't get there. If I was going to bet Cannonier, it'd be by KO, fluke KO. I think Adesanya 4th round TKO. That's it.
I hope you're right. From a personal perspective, I really hope you're right.
I think they feel each other out for a little bit. Cannonier is going to have maybe a good round, and Adesanya puts him away late.
What do you think? And Izzy is known for crazy walkouts, a lot of pageantry.
I was just going to get into that, but I like that you bring this up. I like where your head's at.
Listen, we're of a similar mind here. What do you think he's going to do for the walkout?
I don't know, but I hope he does something.
Yeah.
Just hope he does something, because I don't think he did in his last one. Right? His last fight against Whitaker, he didn't really.
It was kind of muted.
Yeah. So I hope he gives us something here. It's fun. It's going to be a live crowd. So hope he puts on the show. I mean, I think he will, man. He usually does. So style bender all the way. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, the co-main is just.
This is big.
I don't even know that I have words for this one. This is just. I would have never believed that I could be this excited for a trilogy fight where somebody had already won the first two. But I am. Volkanovski, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, Volk going up against Max Holloway. How amped are you here?
This is a big one, man, for legacy. This has big stipulations in terms of like featherweight legacy of GOAT talk. This is a big one for Holloway. This is a tough one. We haven't seen Holloway in a minute, right? Or no, we have seen Holloway. We've seen Volk. We just saw Volk absolutely decimate Korean Zombie. I don't know how much we can take away from that. We saw Holloway put a really great fight on with Yair Rodriguez in his last outing.
And before that with Calvin Kattar.
So he's more than earned his way back to the top. 5 rounds. Thank God this is 5 rounds. Oof, man, this is a tough fight. I think this is the best fight on the card. This is the one I'm looking forward to probably the most. It's probably a 1B or a 1A, a 1B for me on this card. This is a tough one, Zach. Where's your head at here? This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. And my head leans towards Volk. My heart leans towards blessed Max Holloway, but I just don't see it. I don't see him beating Volkanovski. Now, their last fight was a split decision. Maybe that says something. Both of their fights have been very close, but I think Volkanovski's continued to get better. I think he's continued to keep his steam rolling, and Holloway's going in there with the stench of 2 losses to this guy already.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's a must-win scenario here for Holloway. Huge for his legacy. It's really not that big for Volk. It's probably immediate rematch stimulation for him. I wouldn't touch this fight from a betting perspective unless, you want to take Holloway as an underdog shot. If you're going to play DraftKings, you can play Volk and Holloway. But from a betting perspective merely, Holloway plus 162 is a little bit enticing. I'm not going to touch Volkanovski as a favorite. But I could see Holloway get this done. I could see Holloway get this done and make this, I don't know, a real fucking sticky situation here.
Yeah,
we'll see. I think I'm going to take Holloway.
Are you going to take Holloway?
Yeah, I think I might lock that in right now. Max Holloway plus 162.
Wow.
Blessed Express, all aboard, baby.
Wow.
Let's fucking go.
That's crazy. Do you know the last time Alexander Volkanovski lost a fight?
Yeah, when he was fighting at like fucking middleweight, right? Or welterweight?
When he was fighting for the Australian Fighting Championships, the AFC, in 2013.
At what weight, too? At like welterweight. It was something absurd. He was fighting like 3 weight classes up.
Yeah, 170 pounds.
Yeah, so he was fighting at fucking welterweight. He's a 145er.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah, no, it's insane. His resume is crazy. Yeah, there's not much to say. These two guys are kind of in a league of their own. Everybody else is just trying to chase these two. This is huge fight.
Yeah, this is a big one.
I like Holloway, man. Let's go.
What does it do for Holloway's? I mean, what does Holloway do if he loses to Volk here?
Well, I mean, this is big because this is a guy you're talking about who you're talking was considered a possible GOAT at featherweight.
Yeah.
You know, this is somebody who cleaned out Aldo twice. Cleaned out pretty much everyone at featherweight after that loss to McGregor, like early on in his career.
Yep.
He also has a loss when he went up in weight, similar to Adesanya. He went up and lost to Poirier at 55. But I mean, Holloway's a beast. Holloway is the best of the best. I'm going to take him here. I'll take plus money Max Holloway against anybody in the world. And that's just kind of how I'm going to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, so Holloway has. Yeah, I just want to confirm this one. He has 2 losses to Dustin Poirier. He has a loss to him in 2012 via triangle armbar, and then he has a loss to him years later.
By decision,
where Poirier's just kind of beat on him, but
and that was for a vacated belt.
Yeah, of his
that fight at 55,
of his 6 losses, 4 of them belong to 2 people, Volkanovski and Poirier. Then you've got the McGregor loss, and you've got a split with Dennis Bermudez.
I mean, we don't even have to. That's not the same Max Holloway.
No, it is not. That was 10 years ago.
Those aren't even. We don't even have to take those fights kind of into accountability, really. I just think it's going to be super close. A lot of volume. I don't know if I have a weird feeling that this could end in a finish. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Like it feels like a super unlikely outcome. The over 4.5 is at minus 220. So bookmakers obviously feel that this fight's going to go to decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something weird's telling me this is going to be a finish. I hope Holloway doesn't get finished. I don't think I could see that.
I mean, listen, we're still reeling from Joanna getting finished. I'm not sure that I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah, no. Too soon.
Ready. It's too soon. It's too soon. I hope that it is incredible violence for 5 rounds. Because that's what I'm paying for. That's what I'm paying to see. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Are you taking a stance here? I want to hear you say it.
Well, like I said, my head says Volk, my heart says Holloway. I mean, those 2 losses are going to do one of 2 things. Either it's going to weigh on Max and it's going to be in his head, and Volkanovski's just going to run through him, or it's going to motivate Max to go out there and bring the whole nation state of Hawaii, the whole west side of Oahu with him, and he's just going to go out there and go for broke. And at which point, I think, yeah, maybe Max gets it done. But I honestly don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it might be do or die for him. Just got married, life-changing event. He's putting it all in. This is it. This is his last shot. Third chance.
Yeah.
I hope he gets it done. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a shot on him. So
Listen, I can't say I disagree with you. I just don't know that I agree with you. I'm somewhere in the middle here. Fucking Sean Strickland's getting back in there, huh? How
yeah,
about that?
this is a good fight.
This is just going to be a violent affair.
This is a very good fight. You have a lean.
Yeah.
Who you think the favorite is in this one?
I have to imagine it's Sean Strickland.
He is actually the underdog here.
Really?
He is the underdog. 185-pound matchup with Pereira, the only man to knock out Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, when they were Muay Thai fighters.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Pereira with an MMA record that doesn't really tell the whole story because he's 5-1. 4 of those 5 wins were by knockout. This is just a mean man, a big mean dude, middleweight, tough guy. Yeah, Sean Strickland to me is the modern day Tank Abbott. For anybody who's a longtime fan of mixed martial arts and remembers Tank Abbott was intentionally, constantly, and consistently just the bad guy. Was just the most horrible person you could imagine, but was capable of inflicting horrible violence on people. Kind of how what's going on over there, John Boy? What are we doing?
Here, give me 1 second. We might have to pause this.
Let's do it. Anyway, John Boy, like I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted by what I have to imagine was a band of marauders, some pirates off the coast of Florida breaking in perhaps to steal your valuable NFTs. I hope everything's okay down there.
I don't even know what just happened, Zach.
I hope that the Fort Lauderdale police are on their way. I hope that someone's leaving in handcuffs. I really do. Perhaps Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington have broken into your house to fight in the kitchen. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I'm not going to ask.
Couldn't be at a worse time, really.
An absolute worst time. We're running a professional, when Lauren C calls us professionals, it's these moments that make me question her judgment.
No, 100%.
Like I was saying,
but
Sean Strickland is a modern day Tank Abbott. He is just, if you've followed him on social media, he is just, I don't want to overstate it. He's not really like a good person, I don't think. I think he really is that person who enjoys MMA solely for the purpose of he likes inflicting pain on others. He's just an odd sadist. If you listen to him talk about training and how he tries to hurt people intentionally in training, it's just not a good guy, which is why I'm excited to hear that Alex Pereira is the favorite, because I really hope that Pereira knocks Sean Strickland's head into the front row, perhaps. How do you feel about it?
This is a good fight. This is a sleeper for fight of the night, in my opinion. It's almost even money for good reason. I think these two guys are going to bang it out. I think Strickland can wrestle, but I haven't really seen him wrestle, right? I mean, he fought Jack Marshman, who is like the worst grappler in the UFC, and he stood with him for 3 rounds. So maybe that's because, he thought he could win on the feet as well. Maybe he tests the takedown with Pereira. I think that would be smart because Pereira can crack. Like I said, he's the only man to ever knock out Israel Adesanya. This is an interesting fight. This could have implications on who fights Adesanya next.
Yeah, it could.
Right? This is contender written all over it.
Yeah, Strickland's coming off of, he's on a hell of a win streak against, Marshman, Brandon Allen, Jotko, Uriah Hall, Jack Hermanson. So it's at 185. This could spell out who's next. Just an all-around good fight. Just 2 guys who I think are just going to go in there and inflict violence upon each other. Just another banger. What else is there to say? There is some encouraging news amongst tragedy. Out of the ashes of tragedy arose a phoenix. Miesha Tate was supposed to fight Lauren Murphy.
Yes,
that's off.
I did see that.
Murphy's out, but there's good news.
Yes.
Ruthless Robbie Lawler has been bumped up to the main card where he belongs.
Wow.
Going up against Brian Barberina. Speaking of extreme violence.
And the bad news is that anybody who bought tickets for UFC Long Island, the Murphy Tate fight will be moved to that card.
Terrible news. Really sorry about that, guys.
So yeah. In other news, but
really sorry you're gonna have to watch that.
Little Robbie Lawler, Brian Barberena, little washed up action. Two guys are gonna bring it out.
Two guys with absolutely no implications for a title, absolutely no implications for rankings, not a future between the two of them in the UFC beyond getting put on a card so that they can go out there, oil up, and fucking punch the shit out of somebody. And that's really it, you know? The golden age of Robbie Lawler, sadly, is behind us beyond question. That does not mean that this man will not put life and limb on the line to go out there and either kill himself in the process or kill someone else in the cage. That's just a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
Barberina coming off of a win over Matt Brown.
Close one. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin, but a win over Matt Brown all the same.
Who I feel like is very similar to Robbie Lawler.
Exactly. You know, Lawler, Matt Brown, Brian Barberina, all guys who are just going to go in there to fight. They don't need a belt to be on the line for them to go in there and just fight another human being for money. Gotta love that.
Yeah, definitely all guys that probably should definitely not be fighting still, but
guys who should certainly consider retirement. Yeah.
Should be definitely in the cards, but
absolutely.
They definitely all have that in common as well. But
now I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that Brian Barberina is the favorite. Am I correct?
No, he's the underdog.
Shut the fuck up.
Robbie Lawler minus 140. Decent little favorite. Lawler getting respect. I mean, maybe it's the name reputability. The bettors recognize Lawler. They don't recognize Barberena. The general public on Lawler. This is a tough fight. I don't think I want to bet this. I don't want to bet two middling-aged men who probably shouldn't be in the UFC anymore fight it out. It'll probably be a sick fight, though. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Lawler here, though. You know that? I'm going to go with Lawler. I lean Lawler here.
I don't know. I'm almost tempted to lean Barberina. He's a little younger, coming off of 2 wins. I don't know. I don't really have like a super good reason, but I'm kind of leaning Barberina here.
Yeah, I think if you have a sharp or a hard lean on this fight, there's a problem. If you think,
evaluate that.
You know what I mean? If you think how this is going to unfold, you should probably evaluate. But
I'm leaning Barberina, but again, like I said, right, this is exactly the type of fight where some weird fuckery can happen, where somebody catches somebody in something weird, or a ref has to stop it because Robbie Lawler's face won't stop bleeding. There's a million things could happen here. So I think, lean off that one.
I can't believe you went to this fight. You skipped over a fight.
Did I skip over a fight?
I think you did. I mean, this fight better be above.
You're not talking about the Sugar Show.
You damn right I'm talking about the Sugar Show.
Yeah, Sugar Show versus Pedro Munoz. This is a banger. This is a crackerjack.
Does that open the card?
I think that's the curtain jerker, isn't it?
It would make sense. This is juicy.
This is juicy.
This is a juicy one because this is really probably O'Malley's first test other than Chito Vera, who he got knocked out by.
Quickly,
right? His last one, Paiva was a decent win. Rallying Paiva was a decent win. His last win, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But he's also a flyweight. He also fought a 115er, a 115 pounder, or sorry, 125er, instead of a 35er.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know if Munoz is the guy. He's a little bit small. He kind of stays at range, and that's not optimal for kind of his game plan. He likes to stay inside, throw looping right hands, and he kind of throws chopping low kicks. I don't know. I think O'Malley might be too fast for him here.
Yeah, well, the other thing about Munoz is I feel like I don't think he's ever going to quite get to what maybe he could have been. And I think at this point, he's probably missed his ship if he was going to get on it. He's lost 4 of his last 5. Now, he's lost to, some great fighters, but I mean, he lost to Dominic Cruz in 2021. It's not like he lost to Dominic Cruz in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
He lost to Jose Aldo in 2021. Now, Jose's having a resurgence, but again, this isn't young Jose. This isn't WEC era Jose, who was an absolute axe murderer. Beat Jimmy Rivera, lost to Frankie Edgar, another guy who 10 years ago, that would have been an understandable loss, but he lost to Frankie Edgar in 2020. And then before that, lost to Aljamain Sterling, who currently has the belt, so we can forgive it. But then you get back to 2019, he beat Cody Garbrandt, Brian Caraway. It is what it is. Brett Johns, who was, a game opponent, but, and then lost to John Dodson, beat Rob Font. So it's kind of feast or famine with Munoz, but it's been a lot of famine with him lately. Lost his last 4 out of 5. I think Sugar Sean gets this one done.
Yeah, I mean, I look at a lot of opportunities to fade O'Malley. I'm definitely going to in the near future, but this is not going to be one of those times. I'm going to go Sugar Show here too, all day, minus 255. I'd be interested to see what the KO prop is. I think he makes easy work of Munoz here.
Yeah, and we'll circle back to it, but that might honestly be my lock of the card.
Yeah, minus 255. It's a little bit of a cop out, but
by knockout.
Okay, that's better.
I might do it by knockout, and if it's my lock, it's only going to be by knockout.
Okay.
If I'm going to give you a straight up lock, it's going to be on a dog, and you know that I'm a man of principle, and I don't bend those principles. We got some fun prelims, though. I mean, even the prelims here are fun.
Yeah, these prelims are sick.
They're sick. I mean, I don't think we need to spend a lot of time, but Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller, that's going to be a fun fight. I think it's just going to be a good one. Their records are virtually identical. 2 guys that just like to go in there and fight. Uriah Hall is fighting. That's great to see. Uriah Hall's always a fun guy to watch fight.
Yeah.
I don't. Ian Gary's fighting Gabriel Green. I'm on Ian Gary.
I don't know if I am.
Let's hear it then. Let's hear it. Talk to me.
Yeah, I kind of like Gabriel Green here.
Okay.
I don't think Ian Gary's that good.
Okay.
He's decent. He might be able to outpoint Green here. Like he stays outside and keeps range. The second, if this thing gets dirty in any way, shape, or form, I think it's going to get ugly for Gary. But, can Green push the pace and make it ugly is the question. At plus 135, is that a ticket I want to take? I don't know. I'm not sold on Gary. Here.
A lot of people are saying Gary's the future. His nickname is the future.
No, I have a post as well on my social media. You can call me out saying he is the future. I met him in person. Very nice kid. Super humble guy. I don't know. I didn't love what I saw from him in Jacksonville, his last performance against a guy that was kind of set up for him to just absolutely take advantage of. And it was a good fight. I know Gabriel Green is a dog too. I know he's an absolute dog. That's, he's going to give Gary all he can take. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to commit to Green, but that's one to keep my eye on.
Now, how do you feel about the last prelim of the night? How do you feel about Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner? Talk to me about this one.
That's one of the best fights on the card. That's a really, really good fight. 2 guys, 2 really good prospects, really exciting guys too. Like guys who are going to bang it out. Wow, this is a good fight. Who do you think the favorite is?
I'm going to say Jalen Turner is the favorite.
He is, and by this very, very ever so slightly, but he is. You have a lean in who you like here? Do you agree
I
with
like
that?
I like Jalen Turner.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Yeah, I'm a big Jalen Turner guy. I mean, this is a tough dude. 12 wins, 9 of them by knockout. You know, up against Brad Riddell, 10 wins, 5 by knockout, 5 decisions. You know, I'm doing a little MMA math there. I know Turner has a few more losses on his record than Riddell does, but I'm kind of leaning Jalen Turner here.
Yeah, I like Turner here too. I like Brad Riddell a lot. I just think Turner physically lengthy is just going to be too much for Riddell. I really do. Um, I might bet that Jalen Turner minus 125. Slight favorite.
Yeah,
A little bit of value. It's going to be an exciting fight. I like that. I'm pretty firm on some of the guys I like here. I like Jalen Turner too.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see though. I mean, Brad Riddell is another one of these city kickboxing guys who have had a lot of success in the UFC lately. So it's again, I understand that it's a razor thin margin. I am kind of leaning Turner though. I'm kind of leaning to the tarantula.
Yeah, the one thing I could see for Idell making this ugly though is if he mixes in grappling.
Yeah,
Because Turner has an eye-opening loss. He has a loss to Matt Frivola on his record, where he would literally was just grapple fuck the entire time. And Matt
yeah,
Frivola is not like super high level. He trains at a Sarah BJJ in Long Island. It's a good camp and everything. He's a decent fighter, but that's a glaring loss that he has on his resume. And Brad Riddell might be somebody who can exploit that. So that would be the one knock that I would have on that Jalen Turner fight.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to discount Sarah Longo. I think Sarah Longo gets, they're held in the esteem that they deserve. But yes,
Yeah, no discounting at all. I mean, they have a champion under their banner, right? Aljamain Sterling. So I mean, he's rolling with some high level guys, Merab Dvalishvili. The list goes on. So
yeah,
there's no knocking that. I mean, Matt Frivola isn't either of those two guys, but
no,
but
he's not.
but to have them in the camp doesn't hurt.
What else? Anything else worth talking about for the prelims here? I mean, anything else worth? Jessica Eyes on the card fighting Macy Barber.
Macy the future.
Yeah,
The future Barber. Yeah, this is an interesting fight. I don't think I could bet Macy Barber at favorite odds. I'll never bet Jessica I will never bet it. I just couldn't
never
do
happened.
it. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'm
Nope.
not going to get behind that. But one guy who I might take a flyer out on is Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall against Anthony Muniz. Uriah Hall is plus 220 underdog.
Is he really?
Yeah, Muniz minus 285. You're going to give me Uriah Hall plus 220. I mean, I could look stupid here. Muniz could just take him down immediately right off the rep and sub him and make quick work of it. He's coming off of 3 submissions, submitting guys like Jacare Souza. So, he's deadly on the ground. But if Hall can keep this thing up, it's bad news for Muniz. Muniz is not good on the feet at all. So this is going to be, feast or famine for both of these guys.
Yeah, of Muniz, 22 wins, 15 are by submission, that's astronomically high.
Yeah, and I've seen him strike on the feet. It's nothing to it's nothing to be worried about.
No, he's not going to have a career in glory after the UFC stops calling.
No, Hall has an idea of the game plan for Muniz. This is a pretty straightforward fight of what each guy is going to try and do here.
Yeah. Yeah, Uriah Hall is responsible for one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you'll remember this. Uriah Hall fighting, this was years ago. It might have been maybe I'm thinking of when he fought Gegard Mousasi with somebody, maybe even earlier in his career than that. He had his toe dislocate, like it was like dangling, having dislocated, and he stomped it back into place in the cage. His face did not let on how bad that had to have hurt. Just didn't let it on. Just like he was flicking off a mosquito, just stomped a dislocated toe back into place in the cage. And I was like, wow, that's a tough guy. Whatever else you want to say about him, that is a tough, tough dude.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to win the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
But he lost to Kelvin Gastelum,
he did.
who's still doing his thing. A very, reputable,
around.
definitely a tough guy in the division for sure.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
lost to Kelvin Gastelum, lost to John Howard, and then was responsible for what was also one of the most depressing moments in mixed martial arts ever.
Oh God, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, fighting Chris Lieben. Chris Lieben just gave up in the middle of the fight, asked the ref to wave it off. He was getting pieced up by all on the feet.
Oh,
For
I thought you were
one
gonna
time,
say. I thought you were gonna say Chris Weidman.
oh, well, that too. But no, years later, he would be responsible for Chris Weidman's, I don't know, karmic revenge after breaking Anderson Silva's leg.
Yeah,
Chris
that
Weidman then had the exact injury off of a checked Uriah Hall leg kick.
only happened what? It's only happened twice in UFC history, or three
And
now with McGregor, right?
3 with McGregor, but I don't think McGregor didn't have rubber leg like the other 2 did.
Oh, I think he might have. Close.
I'll
It was close.
I'll eat a full dinner watching that McGregor fight, but the Weidman leg injuries, both the Silva 2 Weidman and Weidman 2 Hall, will make you lose your lunch. If you're watching and you haven't seen those, I caution you, do not YouTube those. Those are not fun ones to watch.
The McGregor one is nasty though.
I mean,
It's nasty. You're not giving the guy credit. I know you like to hate. That's fair. It's all right.
I don't like to hate.
It's all
Sometimes
right.
it's necessary.
It's all right.
Sometimes it's necessary. That's all. He's on a fucking yacht right now. All right. So I'm gonna give hate.
All right. Is there anything else you want to get into?
I think we've touched on every fight on the card. I'll say it again. Just watch the card. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely tune in for this one.
Yeah, tune in, make your picks, get your entries in for the contest, win a piece of history. You want to recap last week?
Yeah, I mean, we can get into it. Little Armin Sarukian.
Matthias Gamromsky.
Yeah, man, great fight. Super high level. Super high level. I think you're going to see both of these guys for a while. Both super young, right? 25 and 31. I believe Gamrot's like 31. So both super young. Really, really good fight. I know there was a lot of controversy if the right guy was declared the winner. I think me and you both thought Gamrot won. I know a lot of people were on Sarukian. A lot of people were, up in arms, crying robbery there. I thought it was a good fight. I thought Gamrot won as well, but
I mean, even if you think Sarukian won the fight, which okay, fair enough, I can understand and entertain arguments.
I can too.
To call it a robbery, I think, is a little bit of a misnomer. A bridge too far.
That sounds like somebody's holding an Armin Sarukian ticket, last leg of your parlay, and your little there's a little salt. There's a little salt there, and that's all right.
Salt in that wound. It happens.
It happens to the best of us. Happens to me. I know that.
Sure, it has happened to you, and I've got those receipts.
And it's going to happen again too.
It'll happen again. Might happen Saturday.
Don't say that.
Might happen Saturday.
Don't say that.
I'll knock on wood.
Absolutely not.
I may lose my mortgage on a blackjack table. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen Saturday. It's Vegas, baby. I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's go.
Let's go. What else you want to talk about from last week's card? What else is worth recapping? It's a good card.
Definitely not the Alan Badeau, Josh Parisian fight. That was disgusting to watch.
Yeah, that
was just brutal. That was so hard to watch. If you had to watch it, I apologize. It was an overall good card. It was a nice little appetizer for the main course this weekend.
It was what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Sarukian's going to be back. I really do. I think Gamrot said he wants to fight Gaethje next. That's insane. That lightweight division is just absurd.
Count me in. I'll watch that one.
Watch that any day of the week. Sarukian and Gamrot were outside the top 10. Think about how loaded of a division, the lightweight division is if those guys are outside the top 10.
And I will say, and I'll stand by it. I thought Gamrot won that fight. That being said, rounds 1 and 2, Sarukian looked like a fucking Terminator. He looked like a cyborg in there. He did not look human. That man looked dangerous. So, and he looked like he was feeling the loss a little bit. Post-fight interview looked like he was a little upset about that. I think he's going to be back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I would not want to fight him next.
No, he's going to be making a statement his next fight.
Yeah.
What else is worth recapping from this card, John Boy?
There's nothing really that comes to mind to me that that sticks out. I'm hyper focused on the future.
Yeah,
I'm hyper focused on this pay-per-view card, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I could say more, but what more could I say? MMA news in the world, not a ton this week, which makes me nervous. Makes me nervous when there's not a lot going on because there's so many characters in this sport. When something's not going on, it makes me feel like something's bubbling below the ground, you know? But Dana White did say that John Dwight Jones is ready to go. He's ready to fight. What do you think? Who do you want to see him fight?
I mean, you never really hear Dana mention John unless it's like
and for good reason.
Yeah, unless there's something in the works, something's being planned out, something's going to happen down the road, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, he says Stipe or Ngannou. I'd watch both. I think realistically speaking, Stipe makes the most sense. I think that's the fight that should happen, right?
I think if I'm John Jones, I want that one.
Greatest heavyweight of all time versus arguably the greatest of all time. That's the fight to make. I mean, the headline's written for you. It'd be a fantastic fight. Both guys are similar in sizes. I mean, holy shit. It might not do the numbers Francis would do. But that's a sick fight nonetheless.
Yeah, I think it's a smarter fight. I think it's the better fight. But on the other hand, I mean, if John Jones loses to Stipe Miocic, do you really have an interest in watching him fight Francis Ngannou?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I guess. Yeah.
But if he loses to Francis Ngannou, I'd probably still watch him fight Stipe. I mean, if we weren't.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't look at it like. I don't want to look at it like that. I don't know. Because what if he beats Stipe?
Then he's got to fight Francis.
Then that makes that Francis fight just like the ultimate golden ticket fight.
Exactly. So
that's the thing. It's what's more enticing for Francis.
Well, listen, the UFC is not stupid, right? They don't want to catch you on the first one. They want to catch you on the sequel, right? The UFC has definitely gone to the drug dealing school of business ethics. They want to keep you coming back for more. So I think it makes sense for the Stipe fight to go first. Because then if he beats Stipe, now the Francis fight now the hype train for the Francis fight is going to be astronomical. So I think he's got to fight Stipe first. He's got to.
Yeah. I'll watch it. Sign me up.
John Jones has not fought since before COVID.
No.
Been a while.
No, but I heard he's looking yoked.
He's looking big for sure. He's looking big. I haven't heard. So he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was asked to leave Jackson Wink, correct?
Yes.
After his latest DUI incident in Vegas, he was asked to leave Jackson. Where did he wash up at? Who's he training with now?
He took a couple of guys with him now because he took Brandon Gibson, right? The striking coach from Jackson Wink went with him. There were a couple of guys at Jackson who made the move with Jones. I saw he was working out with Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of, taking things. I don't want to say his own camp. I think he's just hopping around to like a bunch of different gyms with a couple of close guys who were already in his camp. He's just not on premise at Jackson Wink any longer.
That's interesting, but I don't know that we've ever seen a John Jones without Jackson Wink.
No, we haven't.
Be interesting to see if that has any implications, any effect on his game,
Yeah, I can't imagine it would, but maybe.
Well, we may get Stipe first anyway, because I don't know if you saw Ngannou and Tyson Fury they're jawing on the socials again. Do you want to see that fight?
I don't know. That it's obviously it's a time of when Francis gets the knee right. I don't know. Do I want to see that fight? Do I want to see a boxing match between the two of them?
I personally don't.
Would you watch it if it was in 4-ounce gloves?
Maybe, but it's it's the best boxer in MMA still isn't the best boxer, right? Because there's so much that goes into it strategy wise. There's so many different ways that you prepare for it. You know,
Yeah, of course.
it's just a different animal, you know. And I feel like we're finally seeing a Francis Ngannou who is really a true mixed martial artist, right? If we learned anything from the Cyril Gane fight, it's that Francis has found a new layer to his game. He can wrestle. I mean, he is nature's perfect apex predator now. Like, he's just a dangerous, dangerous man. I want to see him in the UFC. I want to see him wrestle. I want to see him throw in submissions. I mean, he is a new breed of heavyweight in the UFC. Why fight Tyson Fury? I don't know that he beats Tyson in a yeah, I know. And I get it. And it's hard for me to fault him for that. It really is. You know, he's going to get such a bigger payday on a boxing match than he ever is from the UFC.
Yeah.
Obviously him and Dana White are already at odds. You know, they're obviously not huge fans of each other, which is another reason that I want to see Francis stay in the UFC. I kind of like that. I think it keeps the UFC a little bit more honest when their big stars are not company men. I don't know that he beats Tyson Fury in a boxing match. You know, I don't think he does. Tyson Fury is just a different level of boxer, you know, and that's why I like MMA more than boxing, right? Is because the best boxer in the world might still lose the fight if you've got a guy who can wrestle him, if you've got a guy with submissions, you know. That's the great equalizer, right? Is, you know what, you can do anything, throw it in there. You're a great boxer, prove your boxing can beat jiu-jitsu, prove it can beat wrestling or kickboxing, right? That's what I love about the sport. So I really hate that MMA guys are going in boxing. I didn't like it when Connor did it with Floyd. I didn't like it when Askren or Tyron Woodley did it with the Pauls. I think it's fucking dumb. I think it's a dumb thing. You know, I don't want to watch Tom Brady play baseball. I don't have an interest in it. Maybe that's me. You know, maybe that's me. I don't know.
I could say I agree with that, but I would watch Tyson Fury fight in the octagon.
Do you think he'd do well in the octagon?
I don't know, but I would watch it. And it's one of those things where I don't know if I would just watch MMA over anything else. Probably is. But yeah, I would watch Tyson Fury fight in an MMA ring. The boxing, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Francis take that type of punishment in a boxing ring, to be quite honest.
I don't think so. I mean, Francis Ngannou is a tough customer.
He's a monster,
man. You know,
boxing ring is a different animal.
It's a different animal. It really is. You know, I don't know. I think Tyson in the octagon would be reminiscent of. I think it would be reminiscent of Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar 1, where Lesnar came in just ready to throw power, and Frank Mir was like, no, give me that ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what jiu-jitsu looks like. Now, obviously, Lesnar figured that out for the second one,
yeah,
and took it, you know. But then, of course, he then met, you know, Alistair Overeem, who taught him what Muay Thai was, and kicked his whole shit through the back of his fucking spine. And you know,
he showed him also what anabolic steroids looks like in your opponent.
I have a feeling Lesnar knew what anabolic steroids looked like. I'm gonna be honest with you.
In his opponent, I'm saying, but yeah,
they don't make fabric wide enough to make a collared shirt that would button for Brock Lesnar. So I think he knows what anabolics look like. That's just one man's take. I think he knows, but yeah, Alistair Overeem was ready to remind him what they look like with what I think was a left body kick. I think it was a left body kick that he threw him.
Knee.
Was it a knee right to the liver?
It was a knee in the clinch.
Ooh. Yeah.
Not the guy you want to get kneed in the clinch by.
No. This was like 10 years ago, somebody put this out. And if you look it up on YouTube, you probably still find it. It was like greatest body shots in MMA. It was you'll know you found it because a Vinny Paz song will be playing during these clips. But I think like one of the first or second clips is Alistair Overeem just wrecking Brock Lesnar's shit with a knee, and it is brutal to watch. It is hard to watch. Yeah, I don't know. It's all up in the air as to what's going to happen. I mean, Jones has to get back in the cage soon because nobody wins the fight against time, and Jones has been around for a long time. At some point, he's got to shit or get off the pot. And same with Francis, right? I mean, he's got the knee injury, obviously, that he's got to rehab, but he's also got to start looking to the future, because if you're going to fight Tyson Fury in a boxing ring, that's a year gone. And if you get knocked out by Tyson Fury, suspension for another, 6 months, 9 months, depending. Shit starts adding up. So everybody better figure out real quick what they want to do and what they want this plan to look like. And Stipe's another one. Stipe's got to be in his mid-30s, late 30s.
Yeah,
I'm
Stipe
sure
probably. I feel like Stipe goes away after a Jones fight.
Probably.
That might be his last fight.
Yeah, Stipe's probably, at this point, he's probably done. He avenged the loss to Cormier. He's 1-1 with Francis. I don't think it behooves Stipe at this point to fight Francis Ngannou again. I think Francis has continued to evolve to just a dangerous human being. So
fight John Jones.
Ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, take it from there.
Go back to the firehouse in Cleveland. Family man, be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, contests abound. Fights abound. Vegas flights abound. John Boy, anything else for this week?
Other than having exceptional weekend out in Vegas.
I thank you, sir.
Absolutely, man.
And as always, call your mother. Tell her you love her and tell her it's fucking fight week. We out.